Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney, and I'm so happy that you're here. This podcast is a place for conversations about balancing a healthy lifestyle and being happy. More specifically, happy hour. Together, we'll explore all things wellness and wine. I hope you learn a little, laugh a lot, and along the way, know you're not alone on this balanced wellness journey. Ready to jump in? Pour something in your glass that makes you happy because it's time for Spandex and Wine. Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I hope that this finds you happy, healthy, and ready for the holidays because Christmas is right around the corner, followed by New Year's, and then all of the wonderful things that 2024 will bring to us. Wanted to give you a special episode today, but before, just want to let you know that I am doing 12 Days of Christmas in my private Facebook group called Spandex and Wine, and it's just little ideas for gifts and stocking stuffers and things like that. So go check it out. I would love to have you there. And I'm doing a Zoom holiday party on Tuesday, December 19th in the evening, at least evening in the Midwest. And I'd be so happy if you joined us. Those details are in the Facebook group as well, but feel free to reach out to me with any questions. You can direct message me on Instagram or Facebook, or you can email me at info@spandexandwine.com. All right, let's get going. So I reached out to a few friends for some memorable stories, traditions, and of course, some favorite holiday cocktails. So thank you to Emily, Alison, Laura, and Mel. All right, so before we get started with their stories, I have a couple stories. Earlier this week, I was driving into work at the dang early of morning because my morning starts so early. And there was a story about a Christmas that had gone bad for a family. So apparently someone in the family thought it would be a great idea to put all of the gifts in a garbage bag. And I can only assume that it was so the kids wouldn't find them and they would make it through dinner. And another do-gooder in the family went outside, saw this bag, and you see where this is going, and put it in the burn pile, and their entire Christmas went up in flames. Can you even imagine? That would be so awful. So while I don't have a story like that, thank God, I do have a memorable Christmas, and it was early on. We lived in a tiny town in Holt, Missouri. If you've heard of Holt, hey. I was probably around 3 or 4, and I remember walking into the living room Christmas morning with all the lights twinkling. I was in my Christmas nightgown, nice and long. I can't believe I would wear a long nightgown. That just, now with menopause, wow. Anyway, with the house on the prairie lace around my collar and my lovely straight hair because my mom had not entered into her perm face yet. So that's wonderful. Anyway, I don't remember what my sisters were doing, but I do remember them being there somewhere. You know, I was the third child, so you know that one that just kind of is bratty and selfish, right? And I spotted the gift under the tree. It was a record player. It was pink and white with the hard top case, and along with it was a record, just one record. On one side, it was Rockin Robin, and the other side was Hot Child in the City. You know, Hot Child in the City, running wild and looking pretty. I really can't believe that my mom would allow that song or record into the home. I'm guessing that likely my dad bought it. Not sure. Anyway, I was so excited, and I remember running down the hallway and jumping in bed between my parents. It was such a wonderful feeling. I mean, I can feel that right now. I can see the sun shining through the windows. I can see, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. I can see both of them smiling. Okay, I wasn't planning on this. This is like my 54th take of this, and I didn't cry in any other ones. Anyway, extra special story and memory because then my dad, just before I was getting ready to turn 5 years old, was in a work-related accident and ended up passing away. So I'm so grateful that I have that happy memory. Whew, okay, let's move on to the first story, and I'll compose myself, I promise. So my friend Emily, she is a wine sister of mine, and I'll make sure that I share her information in the show notes as well as all of the other ladies today that shared their stories. But she has a funny, memorable story that I think you're really going to enjoy.
Hi, Robin. Thanks for reaching out. I appreciate the ask and wanted to share a funny story with you. It took me a little bit to think of something, but I feel like this is a pretty good one and probably a classic one that parents could use in the future. So anyhow, I'll jump in. I was about a freshman in college a little over 20 years ago, and my mom took me Christmas shopping as we would do sometimes. And we were at Sam's Club, a little bit of a random pick, I feel like, but anyhow, Sam's Club nonetheless. We were shopping. I was very methodical about this luggage gift that we were purchasing for my sister. And then if it was for me, I would pick the green, but the bright blue color was more her style. And of course, it would be easier to pick out in the airport when you're pulling it off the luggage rack. So we went with the blue, picked up the luggage. It was a 3-piece set, the small handbag, a little roller bag, and then the larger size, for bigger trips, and definitely a non-carry-on. So fast forward, we get home. Mom has me wrap it, stick it under the tree. I never placed a name on it. I do not know why. Thinking back now, I don't know why I didn't add a name, a sticker, her name, Mom's name, who knows. Anyhow, so fast forward to Christmas Day, and my stepdad was pretty classic for wrapping with newspaper or paper grocery sacks and some silly things like that. Always wrote in pen on it, some silly things of that nature. So didn't really think much of it. We each would get maybe 2 to 3 gifts, and our family would always go around in a circle to open gifts so that we could see what each other had received. So we went around Robin just like that, as we normally would, and saw the gifts. I was short a gift, didn't really think much of it. I was kind of the kid that I either had one thing that I really, really wanted, but not a huge list or anything like that. That was just kind of how I was as a kid. And so anyhow, we get to the end. I'm short a gift, and Mom says, "Hey, there's one more for you, Emily." And my brother and my sister, of course, they had one more. I wasn't really keeping track, but under the tree was the gift that not only had I picked out for my sister, I had also wrapped for my sister. And lo and behold, it was my luggage gift. So anyhow, just kind of a fun story to think back on how my mom kind of tricked me into that one. I still have the luggage today. It's been on many, many trips. But hopefully from my family to yours, you enjoy this silly story. And thanks for having me, Robin. Cheers and have a Merry Christmas.
What a clever idea of Emily's mom, don't you think? Growing up, there were 5 of us girls in the house, and I remember that the 4 younger ones, we would always get pretty much the exact same thing, just in a different color. Of course, my oldest sister got something different, and no, that's not bitterness that you hear in my voice. Anyway, but speaking of traditions and what would happen every year, have you seen the meme? I'm sure you have, where it says something like, find out if a family you're entering is the type that runs 5Ks Christmas morning or drinks mimosas. So that always reminds me of my friend, Alison. She's a runner and dedicated to her ritual and her tennis shoes.
Hi, it's Alison Fraser here from the Women Who podcast. And this Christmas, I'm going to be going to a Christmas Day park run, which is what I've been doing every year since 2016 when I first got into parkrun. Parkrun is a free weekly timed 5K run or walk. And in the UK and New Zealand, Christmas Day is a designated day where you can have an extra park run, and it's great to just get together with all your friends and family, do a 5K however you please, and then go home for the swapping of gifts and all the food. It makes me feel really good, a good way to start the day, because I've done some exercise and I've been around people that I wouldn't necessarily see if we were just staying at home. So Merry Christmas, everyone, and hope you have a great day.
Alison, you are amazing. I don't know how you do everything that you do with working full time, having a son in school, 2 different podcasts. You're a great member of our accountability group, and I know we all appreciate you, so thanks. And I have to admit that I am more of the drinks mimosas on Christmas morning kind of gal, so I really admire you, even though fitness is my passion and my work. But speaking of drinking mimosas, my friend Laura is next up. And I met Laura in February of 2020. In hindsight, I was sick at the time, and I know for sure that I had COVID at least a couple weeks before that, and it just kind of lingered and lingered and lingered. So hopefully I didn't get you sick, Laura. But anyway, I was at a regional wine conference, and we decided to go to a brewery the night before and struck up a conversation with the couple next to us. And it was Laura. And so we've stayed in communication since then. She lives up in Canada, so I don't get to see her, but she also has a condo down in Mexico, and I will leave the information in the show notes in case you're wanting to rent that out, because she does do that. But anyway, we were having a conversation, and I asked her to share if there were any traditions that she has that they do in Canada that maybe we don't do here in the States. So here's what she had to say.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Barrington, and I am from Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. However, I was born and raised in Newfoundland, Canada. In Newfoundland, we have a very sacred tradition, which we call Tibb's Eve or Tipsy Eve. It originated back in World War II, I believe. It was basically the first day of Advent where it was acceptable to drink, and people got together to drink and have fun with their friends before they had to spend all of their time with their family during Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Kids' Eve back home is very important. It is probably the funnest party of the entire year. You do not miss it, and you look forward to it more than you would Christmas Day. Anyway, hope you learned something with that. Happy holidays, all.
Okay, yeah, so I think I might be part Canadian. That is a tradition that I could definitely get into. That sounds like a lot of fun. Thanks so much for sharing, Laura. As I was growing up, I don't remember alcohol or cocktails being a big part of any of our holiday gatherings. It could have been that the adults just hit it well. I have no idea. But I do remember on Christmas Eve going over to my grandma Terrell's house and just everything looking so special. We were dressed up in our Christmas dresses or Christmas outfits. And the music that was on, and she would serve eggnog in the little Santa ceramic mugs. I don't know if you had those. They may have just been Grandma Terrell's now that I think about it, because she made a lot of ceramics, but it was always really special. I know not everyone had the eggnog, but I remember having it, and I don't know if it was spiked or not, but it was a special moment for me. So speaking of cocktails, I had one of my friends, Mel, has a new podcast called We Bring the Wine. And I asked her if she had any holiday traditions when it comes to cocktails or things that she likes to make. And here's what she had to say.
Hey everyone, this is Melanie Eitel with the We Bring the Wine podcast. One of my favorite holiday drinks has to do with bubbly, of course, and I love to have a pomegranate prosecco. So the ingredients are 1 ounce of pomegranate juice, 2 ounces of Campari, and then you top it off with prosecco. Simple, sweet, delicious, and incredibly festive.
Well, that sounds yummy. I also want to try the snow globe mistletoe cocktail that's gone viral. And I think I'm going to make mine with Prosecco. That's the one where you have the cranberries that you put in a freezer-safe glass, cover with water, and you put your rosemary sprig in there, and then you let it freeze. And you can either leave it in that same glass, or you can put it in a different glass as you take that out. And then I'm going to top it with Prosecco, I think. But I might look up some other recipes too. I'll include them in the show notes. But I'm also going to put it out there for our holiday Zoom party that we're having next Tuesday, December 19th, so everyone can make their own and we can be sipping on them together. All right. I want to give a special shout out to all of you that have December birthdays. I know that can be tough, and even early January. So to both of my boys that have December birthdays, I love you. I'm sorry. I don't know, spring break, not sure what happened there, but happy birthday to both of you. And then to my BFF that I've been friends with since the first grade. That's a really long time, you guys. So happy birthday to you, Rexanne, to my elementary into high school friends, Kelly, Kim, Dawn, Pam. I'm probably forgetting someone. Happy birthday to you all. And my clients, Linda, Mitzi, Sally. I hope you guys have a wonderful birthday. If I forgot someone, I'm so sorry. It's just because, it's the holiday season and it all gets mixed together. And, oh, is that not funny? Okay, sorry. If I forgot you, I truly am sorry. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. I hope you're safe. I hope you create wonderful memories with your family. And I so appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following. Thank you for sharing. You guys are the best. Cheers. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoy this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you take a few seconds to do each or all of the following. First, follow or subscribe to Spandex and Wine. It'll help you so you don't miss an episode, and it'll help me because you won't miss any episodes. To do this, you'll just go to the podcast, click subscribe or follow wherever you are listening. Look for the plus sign or follow button, and this is one of the best things that you can do for the podcast, so thank you. If you'd also be willing to give a 5-star review, that would be amazing. And lastly, please share an episode with a friend or 5 to keep the love going. I appreciate you. Thanks.